so much has taken place. And we've seen a lot of youth. We've seen a lot of youth on ground from, of course, Ayodhya, UP, and all across the country. And it shows us how we've now reached a point where the youth is trying to understand their culture. They're trying to reconnect to their culture, to their roots. What do you want to say on this front?
See, I think it's a beautiful. The way I look at it is, something which was bound to happen, and with the Prime Minister Modi, with his tenure leadership in place, it has also galvanized Indians in India and across the world. And this is something which unifies India. I feel the Ayodhya, the temple, and the ecosystem and the infrastructure around it. Now, the visuals I can see right now when your colleague or reporter was talking, it shows the youth which are traveling to, which are happy, and there's sense of vibrancy there, which one can notice, one can measure. I think everybody, be it the sadhus, be it the common man, everybody has a sense of there's a sense of aspiration, there's a sense of happiness which you can see, and it also goes to show that with the leadership of the Honorable Prime Minister, it's not just about going and inaugurating the temple. The development projects of 15,000 crores, the railway station, the international airport, and the corridors, from there connecting to Vaishno Devi and all the other religious places. I think it's immense. We just talk about the divine factor, but the fact is, this will create so many employment opportunities, so many job opportunities. The youth will be engaged and involved in some form or the other. I think it's a brilliant boost to Indian economy. And it goes to show that the Prime Minister is leading from the front. He's taking the whole nation by storm because he wants to make sure this happens on January 22nd, and leading up to it, you'll find a lot of energy around this. It also goes to show that the country is also standing with it. And it's a proud moment, not just for India, I feel. I think it's a proud moment. Everybody comes in together.
Right.
And comes in and takes note of this beautiful situation. I think it's very nice.
Right, so absolutely. And I'm going to share a couple of statistics with you at the moment, and then I'll ask for your reactions. So, in 2020, we saw 6.2 million people visit Ayodhya. Of course, the pandemic was on, so you couldn't have expected a bigger number than that. But in 2021, you saw an increase. You saw 15.7 million people go. And now in 2024, we're expecting a 5 to 10-fold increase in the number, which means that 15.7, I beg your pardon, into 5 folds for the time being. If we take, that's going to be more than 75 million people. Additional, that means, is 60 million people. So if we in fact even look at a personal spending of 20,000 per person, that means that 60 million, additional 60 million people into rupees 20,000 is an accumulation of 1.2 lakh crores. That is the kind of number that is going to be added in to the Ayodhya's economic numbers. And just keeping that in mind, you think these are, do these figures represent the global traction that Ayodhya is garnering?
See, I think goes without saying, we should be very clear about this. We're not looking at this just from a religious process. Look at the kind of look how it will benefit our economy. Look at the opportunities we would get. Look at the job opportunities. Look at the ecosystem it will create. Look at the things it will generate outside just the temple. So I think it's a big boost, and the numbers you just mentioned so far are huge numbers, right? And it's not just about the temple. It's also about tourism. It's also about our culture. It's also about the employment opportunities of the world. And it's good to do this at the starting of 2024 because we're setting the ball rolling. I think it's a brilliant thing. And I for one, I'm very excited. I know some of my family members are also going for this, and everybody's very keen to come in and experience Ayodhya in all its splendor. And why not? I think, why not?
Right, so absolutely stay on with us. We're also being joined by Ms. Sumitra Goenka, political analyst on the broadcast. Good afternoon, ma'am, and thank you so much for speaking to us on NewsX. Now, we've had Mahakumbh, we've had Vaishno Devi, we've had Badrinath, we've had Kedarnath, we've had Char Dham. We've seen all of these places receive the recognition that they deserve, and now is the time for Ayodhya to shine. Keeping that perspective in mind, is it safe to say that the Prime Minister is trying to build several pilgrim corridors across the India? Do you think this is a part of his 2047 vision?
Good afternoon, Asavri, and Ram Ram to you. I think it's a great day today. We are witnessing that, the Prime Minister is not only emphasizing on pilgrimage or religious side, but he's also inaugurating several projects which are going to create a great impact on the infrastructure of India. So let me tell you that, I had visited Ram Mandir or Ayodhya in 2016 December, around this time only. And, tears rolled down from my eyes when I saw the kind of apathy that the entire town was in. And it was really sad to see that the place which we all wanted to visit and go and worship Ramlalla, that small town was in shambles. There was no eatery, there was filth everywhere. The Sharyu River was in absolute dirty state, and I felt very sad looking at that. And I was praying to Lord Ram that something should be done so that the glory of that place, Ayodhya, is restored again. Recently, couple of weeks back, I had an opportunity to visit Ayodhya ji, and I was taken aback with the kind of development which has happened there, as well as the kind of cleanliness and the kind of energy that is resonating in that place. I could see so many dharmshalas, there were eateries, people were traveling to Ayodhya ji from different parts of the nation. Like I met tourists who had come from Telangana, Tamil Nadu. A couple of tourists had come from Northeast. There were a couple of people from Punjab, Kashmir. So from every part of the country, there were people, and even in the situation where still, there's a lot of development to be done there. Till now, there are, if you see the facilities which are there, they are not up to the mark. I would not say that, today it's a five-star town or something. But yes, with these kind of outlays and these kind of investments in the pipeline, the airport coming in, the railway station coming in, the other projects like the widening of the roads, etc., the cleaning of the Sharyu River, and the other industries which will come in. So if you directly look at the impact, you will see that right from a small vendor who is selling some pudi sabji or some puja things, from that vendor to the realty sector, the builders, they will come in, and there will be much more development which will be happening there. The road infrastructure will lead to many more hotels, eateries, guest houses, all these things will come up. The demand for consumer goods will increase drastically, because if you are having, say, 1 lakh or 2 lakh people coming in every day, there will be demand for all these things. Supermarkets will come in. The aviation sector, the people from across the country can travel. Today, if you have to go to Ayodhya, you have to either get down at Delhi or you have to get down at Lucknow, and then you have to take a car to Ayodhya for about 2 hours. But if you directly get down at Ayodhya, see the boost that people will get from across the world. And having said that, there are many ancillary industries also, like mechanics and drivers and other things which will indirectly affect the economy. So this is a great economic boost which this region is going to get. If you just recollect the Sardar Sarovar project and the Statue of Unity, just the parking fees which the project collected was almost 120 crore rupees. So from a very sleepy town of Kevadia, where hardly anybody used to visit, to today's condition where there are e-rickshaws flying, small vendors have opened up shops, tourism has taken a boost, everybody wants to go there. So there is a huge economical advantage also, along with not just the pride which we are talking about. And yes, all these places, like be it Ujjain, or if you talk about Varanasi, or if you talk about Kedarnath, these centers of pilgrimage were in absolute mess. When you go there, you couldn't find decent place to stay. There were no toilets available. There was always dirt on the road. You couldn't even walk barefoot. But today, if you look at all these areas, they have drastically changed. The young generation also wants to go and stay there because facilities are good enough. You can travel easily. I took only 7 or 8 hours from Delhi to reach to Ayodhya. But in ancient times, I would have taken almost a day to travel if the road conditions were like that. So things have changed, and it is definitely giving a boost to the entire economy. It is going to uplift the mood of the nation. It is going to benefit the small vendors there. It is local people are going to benefit irrespective of whatever religion they are coming from. And this is a very big thing, because even if you look at Allahabad or Varanasi and other Prayagraj or Varanasi or other areas, you will see that there is so much of a boost, and it is not only restricted to a religious community. It is just it is expanding to each and every person who is looking in that area. Also, the migration of the people is going to stop, because these areas did not have equal or good opportunities, and now with the coming up of such projects, people will get local employment. And if you are getting good local employment, who would like to leave the house and go outside and stay in crowded cities in small houses? So I think this is a great step today, and I am looking forward to this. And I hope that Ayodhya ji is visited by lakhs and lakhs of people on a daily basis.
Right, ma'am, absolutely. Stay on with us. Mr. Gyanendra Mishra, political analyst, joins us at this point of time. Good afternoon, and thank you so much for speaking to us on NewsX. Now, can Ayodhya potentially become one of the biggest religious tourist towns?
Yes, of course, it is going to be, and this is what we are, hearing all about, that it is going to be a globally tourist spot where lakhs and lakhs of people will visit, and we all hope so. I don't think there is any dispute on that point, that it is one of the most important pilgrimage center for India as a whole, not only for Hindus, but it is a pilgrimage center for India as a whole, where the people of all caste, religion would go. But the whole point is that, yes, it is, after all, is a religious ceremony. It is a matter of pride for all of us. And my only expectation would be that it should remain a religious ceremony, a very pious and religious ceremony, where the spirituality should be the focus, and the people across the globe should immersed in this spiritual feeling. And this is what I am expecting, that it will not be turned into a political and electoral, spectacle. This is what I expect, and I pray that the religious sanctity, the spiritual sanctity of this occasion, is this momentous occasion, I would say, should be felt by each and every people across the globe, across the religion, across the caste, across the region. And the Lord Ram must, and I know, should energize the conscience of the people, the cultural upliftment. And this is what we all are looking forward to.
Right, so absolutely. Stay on with us. Still with us on the broadcast is Mr. Shekhar Vijayan. Sir, let's just quickly talk about the developmental projects that have been inaugurated or are in fact slated to be inaugurated. The Maharishi Valmiki International Airport. We also had, you had the railway station, the revamped railway station that was inaugurated, the 2 Amrit Bharat trains that were inaugurated. There's so much happening. Did you expect so much development? So much development in such a, when the development in fact started, when the construction work started, did you expect it to be as magnificent as it looks?
More than anything else, with 22nd being the date when for the temple opening and everything around it, I was expecting that this would happen. The infrastructure would come in automatically. and would take care of everything. But I think more than anything else, we have seen in this current government, the BJP government, that their execution is very quick and very fast and very sharp. And also it also just goes to show that Ayodhya is a spiritual capital of the world, and there's no denying that. Everybody in the world, everybody in India knows it. I think it also goes to show that you have to create the right ecosystem for people to come in and experience the spirituality of Ayodhya. By which I mean you need to have proper, good, relevant, and futuristic railway stations and airports which are international airports which connect you to the rest of the world, which the government is really taking care of. So I think that infrastructure has been sorted out. But I think what is also really important is everybody should have a good experience when they go in and experience Ayodhya Ji. I think that's important. And we have seen that in the past, whenever the government has taken up issues like this, they have actually executed things pretty quickly. But I think more than anything else, this is a good start to the new year. And just like you, I think I'm really looking forward to going in and experiencing this beautiful place. And if the government is allowing me to do that by making it easier for me, to travel and to experience the place and to also experience what Ayodhya Ji is all about, I think everybody would be keen. So they're just making it easier, and it's nice to see all this coming in together so quickly. For example, I'm staying in Kerala right now. I'm in Kerala here for the New Year's, and I can see the newspapers are full of articles around Modi ji's visit to Ayodhya and everything around the railway station, the new airport which is being built. So there is a lot of information around it. That is one, and the second thing is people are very keen to know about it. That is also there. I think it's a good start for India, and we should just welcome it with open arms. I think that's important.
Very well articulated, sir. I'm going to, you spoke about how you would like to experience, how it is like on ground and go to the Ram Mandir and visit it, to that, I'm going to quickly rope in Miss Suvitra Goenka into the broadcast. Ma'am, you shared that you had in fact visited Ayodhya a couple of years ago. And, I'm sure a lot of our viewers who are sitting with, watching us at this point of time are inquisitive, want to know what it's all about, what is it going to look like from the inside, want all of those, questions to be answered. So, to that, since you've been there, if what would you say to our viewers? What would you like to say? What was the experience like, and what did you feel when you went there?
See, there are two experiences. One was in 2016 when Yogi ji was not there, and Mr. Mr. Akhilesh Yadav was the CM of Ayodhya, and that was the time when I saw how Ayodhya was neglected completely, and nothing was done for Ayodhya. Not even proper grooming of that place was happening. But today, when you look at after Yogi ji coming in, a lot has changed. We have seen how Deepotsav has become one of the biggest attractions during Deepavali. And recently, about 2 weeks back, I was there in Ayodhya and I had an opportunity to visit the Ramlalla, the temporary accommodation where Ramlalla has been placed. And I had an opportunity to even participate in the Aarti. So what I saw was people are still flocking on. There is a lot of curiosity. People are all visiting to see how the Ram temple is coming through. Even in 2016, we could see that there was work going on. There is a Karyashala in which the work was going on for building the architecture, and these things were going on, and they were making these stone carvings and all these things. Even in 2016 it was happening, and now if you see, they were polishing all those things which they had created separately and kept in that Karyashala, and the carving work was still going on. There were a lot of trucks which were there, which were transporting the existing carvings which are completed, and they were taking and placing it on the exact site where the temple is getting constructed, and the work is going on round the clock. Secondly, there are certain things like the road infrastructure. We saw certain places where it was very crowded earlier days. Now all those places, there was widening of the roads which is happening. The beautification of the roads is happening. The city was gearing up for something new. It was very clear. Just near the temple also, there was a huge shade which was created so that when pilgrims come there and they will stand in the queue or something, they get a proper shade. You don't have to stand in the sun or the rain. So this kind of work was happening. The widening of the roads is happening. So there was a lot of thing which is going on. Secondly, I believe there are 2 or 3 murtis which are created for the Pran Pratishtha. There was a separate department where the Pran Pratishtha team is working, and they will be selecting, or I'm not sure if they have, but they will be selecting one murti for Pran Pratishtha. So all those things are happening parallelly. And somewhere deep down, even in 2016 when I went, we had that feeling that one day this temple is going to be built. And today, after so many years, we are seeing this actually happen in reality. So when we went there, I am honored that I can say that मैंने राम मंदिर बनते हुए देखा है. That is a feeling which I will always carry throughout my life, and I'll be very happy to share my experiences with my next generation as well. And people were coming from across India. They were all excited, and everybody was inquisitive as to how they can attend the ceremony on 26 Jan. This is something which each and everybody was asking: how do we get a ticket, or how do we get a pass to come there and participate in the ceremonies? When 2016 I had gone there, there was absolutely no thelewala or nothing out there. But if you look at today, there are very small things, like a vendor is there who is selling coconut, or somebody is selling some puri sabji or some eatables. So the economy has completely changed there. There is a local ecosystem which is getting built there, and people are eagerly awaiting this day when Ram Mandir will be visited by lakhs of devotees from across India. And yes, it is going to take 1 or 2 years, I believe, to completely overhaul that entire place, because right now facilities are not up to the mark. But I'm sure after 22nd Jan, we will see a lot of development happening with the tourists coming in, and it's a natural process. The infrastructure projects, the boost which the Modi government and the Yogi Adityanath government is doing, I think phenomenal work is happening. And this is a little different temple. Like Ujjain was existing, or the Mathura, the temple is still there, but Ram Mandir was not there. So it is like something which we are building from the scratch, and it is something which will always remain very, very sacred to the heart forever. This is a phenomenon which our generation is really blessed to witness, this magnificent temple getting built. So I am hopeful that Prabhu Shri Ram blesses all India, and we progress, we become one of the top economies in the world. And the temple is not just a religious thing. I think it encompasses everything. It is a growth mechanism, because India is a tourism economy. India is a pilgrimage economy as well. And I think this is going to get us a lot of crowd even from abroad, Indians who are staying abroad, as well as people who are not Indians, but they are very inquisitive with the kind of publicity and the kind of work which is happening at a fast track at Ram Mandir.
Right, absolutely, ma'am. Stay on with us. Still with us on the broadcast is Mr. Gyanendra Mishra. So, of course, now we've spoken about all the developments that have taken place, all the projects that have taken place, everything that's happening. Of course, now it's safe to say that, there's a lot that's happening on ground. Accessibility, availability, comfort, luxury, everything has been taken care of. But let's have a larger conversation. Let's talk about, I want to garner your opinion on, what kind of an economic, how is it going to, impact our economy, both, within the country and globally?
No, of course, I agree with what Ms. Goenka was telling, that, the pilgrimage is a part of the larger tourism industry. And, the spiritual movement of people, the religious movement of the people is happening in India from ages. And the way our cultural symbols have been established in a different part of India, in the 4 corners of India, so that the people from one corner take the spiritual journey to the other part of the country. And that was an idea of cultural integration as well. And I am in full, the agreement with that. It is the government duty, and there should be the consistent efforts to create the right infrastructure to facilitate the movement of the people, to create the facilities for the pilgrimage, and that should be done across the religion. That's where my point is, that if the government is keen on promoting the cultural tourism, the religious tourism, the approach of the government should be a religion. The government should try to develop all the important pilgrimage, cultural, religious centers which is located in the different part of India, because it not only helps in creating the right economy, but it's also creating the cultural, spiritual, and by that way the social and political integration of the country as well. So that is very good if the some very the large infrastructure development is taking place in Ayodhya, and I think that it should be done across the country, as I said, across the different pilgrimage centers belonging to the different the religion as well, because we need to completely understand and appreciate that our politics, our governance is a secular governance, where the role of the government should be focused more on creating the right ecosystem by developing the appropriate infrastructure in terms of travel, in terms of accommodation, in terms of food, in terms of hygiene and securities, law and order. There are the various aspects of it, and if the government is trying to do that, it is a welcoming feature. And it should not only be around the Ayodhya and make it in, it should be, as I said, across the country. Why not? All important pilgrimage center of different religions should be developed.
Well,
I see
right,
this is
we
a
can hear you.
development, but I only
All right,
hope.
there seems to be some issue. We'll quickly take care of that technical issue over there. But still with us on the broadcast is Ms. Raj Lakshmi Joshi. Ma'am, with these developments in focus, people are going to be impacted for sure. Their livelihood, employment opportunities will open up. Business opportunities from all across the world will potentially present themselves. So, what do you want to say on that front?
Yes, definitely. This is something where which people from not only all across India, but people from across the world also will come. And as I was telling you earlier, some time back, and also as Sumitra ji was talking about how people from other countries also they are extremely curious to know about our religion, about our culture. So all of that will be depicted in this entire temple complex. So that actually is going to draw a lot of crowds from people, not only from people of Hindu origin, but also from people across all religions. So that actually is going to, there is going to be definitely a huge tourism boost. So as it is, even when Prabhu Ramji was in a tent, even at that time there were so many visitors. Like I was telling you about how I when I visited earlier, it was sad to see that, but then at the same time it was a very emotional moment, and I could see that there were so many people who were very eager to have one darshan of Prabhu Ramji. So that it has always been people visiting Ayodhya for the spiritual and religious purposes, and but then the facilities were absolutely terrible, and it is definitely going to be a huge change in the way in which people can travel, and the facilities, and especially the infrastructure push is definitely going to add to the economy. So this in all the temple towns, in all the places of religious importance in India and in other countries, if you have seen that there is this whole ecosystem built with all the the maybe the hotels, the eateries, and there are so many mementos. A lot of things happen, and even in other tourist attractions also, like you see that there are audio visual some kind of displays, etc. So there is no end to how many things can be added and how people can benefit from all of this. The local people also and other people also will be able to enjoy and understand the cultural and historical importance of that particular place. So that actually, there is no end to how many facilities can be added and how the place can be spruced up. And even, like I was telling you earlier, even the surrounding towns and the entire state can benefit from it. And I would go ahead to say that the entire country will benefit, because it adds this this heritage, this thing about our identity. It adds to our identity. Now, previously here, the previous speaker, Mishra ji, he was talking about how all places of religious importance should be definitely spruced up. Yes, I totally agree. But then there are some places which have additional importance, because see this, for example, this is Ram Janmabhoomi. So this is a Janmabhoomi of our most beloved deity. So similarly, if you look at Mathura, it is the Krishna Janmabhoomi. So those places, they have a deep emotional connect with the people. So everybody wants to visit those places.
For more such videos, subscribe to the NewsX YouTube channel, hit the bell icon.